little bit of past can really help propel our future. This edition of Lessons Learned comes from my college professor, Dr. Susan Fisher. And she used to tell me, Lawrence, you have a great idea, but before you can ever pursue your idea, you have to see who else has had same idea and how he or she has explored your idea. And it's so important to us in our industry that we have an idea, we think I'm going to pursue this, maybe I have a mentor, maybe I want to wrap my head around this, and how can I best put forward my idea? Well, a little bit of understanding our past is really important. So when I was working on my master's degree and finding out how we learn and how we communicate, master's in education, Susan always said to me, in any language, it's important to understand when you have a theory about, for example, a work of literature, what other people have said about your work of literature. Well, I want to explore the characters or the themes or the plots in a certain piece of literature. Wonderful idea, but you have to be able to quote and cite who already previously, at least in print, has done this. Then I learned with a lifelong infatuation with food and no formal training, learning how to cook, whether or not I want to be just a vegan chef, for example, I have to know what's gone before me in terms of LaRousse, in terms of Julia Child, in terms of other famous Thomas Keller-like chefs, for example, be them not or be them vegan. It's important to know what has come before us. For example, last example, art. If we want to be some abstract art creator where we only focus on used toilet paper rolls, we still have to know what the greats did in our past. We can't create a future without knowing what's gone before, or we're going to create something that's remarkably like a Picasso or a Chagall or a Matisse or anyone who's ever done anything in art. Regardless of the way we're going to make a USP or our unique selling points, we have to know what's gone before. So when companies come to me and say, Lawrence, I have a wonderful fitness idea or I have a unique nutritional strategy, one of the reasons why they can come to me is because I think I have my finger on the pulse of being able to say, being a veteran of this industry of fitness and wellness, what's gone before? You have a unique selling point if you XYZ moving forward, because here's what's already gone before. And the young people today coming up in our industry don't have any idea of what's gone before. For example, when people might think pre-choreographed is the latest and greatest way to get fitness in a box, we had jazzercised. We had the beginning of step. We had the beginning of so many ways to put on an LP record with Jane Fonda and do the same thing in the same way on the same side with the same poster. For years, we did everything a similar way. So when we want to go forward, we have to know our past by critical thinking and looking at our past. So let's find out how we can know our past to make our future better, to transform and evolve and know what's below, one of my hashtags. We can't have some idea without knowing, first of all, that somebody already has sold our idea and somebody already is doing our idea. But how can we make our idea so much better than what's gone before? And we can't do that unless we know what's gone before. And I am so much an advocate of getting away of our past. I say so often in other lessons learned, we can't reach for tomorrow's promises if our hands are full with yesterday's junk. And how high we're willing to fly with our new ideas depends on what we're willing to let go of that pulls us down. But past study does not pull us down, which is the second part of what I learned from Dr. Susan Fisher, which is in addition to studying our past and knowing what's gone on and what other people have said in terms of narratology, in terms of critical thinking, in terms of looking at literature or how we learn and how we educate others, important how we put together our thoughts. And we have to put together our thoughts in an orderly fashion. The AFA 5 questions, for example, starts with number 1, what is your purpose? My 6 P's of Cream Rises starts with what is our plan and then what is our purpose? What are we going to do and why are we going to do before we tell people how we're going to do? Really important then would be an understanding of our what and why before we move on to our unique how. Therefore, to quote Susan, we have to know our past and critical think our present to move for a sound, untouchable future. We have to grab our head around literary criticism, or, in the case of fitness and wellness and education, how we learn and how we teach and communicate ourselves so that other people will feel compelled to understand, and make sure that we're not doing anything that's exactly like our past, but we can pick up with making things better than our past and doing in such a way that we can prove a point, show our unique selling point, explain why, and move forward. Like CNN taught me when I became a consultant for them years and years ago with Rod Johnson. 3 CNN questions. Number 1, why you? Number 2, why this, meaning why this topic? And number 3, why now? Why now are we ready for this or your topic? And that only can come if we understand our past, because why we're saying why now, the industry is ready for this because, and why are you able to be the one to put this forward? Well, we can't defend ourselves and claim our fame unless we understand critical thinking and how to start with a purpose and back up our purpose as we move forward. As Simon Sinek, start with why. And then my biggie is start and follow up with how. What's next? So with love in my heart and a firm commitment to spread wellness without walls, I'm Lawrence, expressing my gratitude to you for allowing me to share my lessons learned thus far. And I conclude this lessons learned by asking you, in whatever path you've chosen, and with all of your hobbies and with all of your interests, and yes, your career or careers, are you fully aware of what's gone before, as you can learn to critically think your future?